Level 1. Reward and punishment. At its core, this level of thought argues that what is considered right or wrong depends entirely on who has the power to hand out rewards or punishments. Mercy, or the choice not to punish, is often seen by those who adhere to this view as a sign of weakness rather than a moral virtue. In other words, obeying rules is less about doing what is inherently good and more about avoiding the negative consequences of disobedience. This fundamental way of thinking is not just a modern idea, it can be seen in historical context as well. For instance, ancient Israel, during its time as slaves in Egypt, operated largely under this reward and punishment system. The people followed orders primarily because they needed to avoid harsh punishment from their taskmasters, a situation that left little room for moral deliberation or personal insight. Many who support this viewpoint also believe that God demonstrates his authority by punishing those who refuse to repent. They point to early biblical events where God established his credentials as the supreme ruler by dealing out severe punishments. For example, his actions against the Egyptian gods, coupled with awe-inspiring miracles, were seen as powerful proof that these deities were not truly divine and that his own rule was absolute. This level of thinking is very basic, almost instinctual. Just as animals, plants, and even bacteria react to pain and pleasure without deep thought, this approach reduces moral decision-making to simple responses to external stimuli. In this framework, the mind takes a back seat to the immediate reactions driven by reward or fear of punishment. A clear example of this thinking is found in the satisfaction theory of atonement. According to this view, when God commands us not to do something and we disobey, our actions dishonor him. In his justice, God responds by punishing the disobedient to uphold his honor. However, instead of allowing humanity to suffer the full consequences of this divine retribution, Jesus steps in as a substitute. God's justice is satisfied through his sacrifice, preserving both his honor and the moral order. By breaking down morality into these basic components, the reward and punishment framework offers a glimpse into a more primitive way of thinking, one that values obedience over reflection and instinct over reason. Whether you see this approach as a stepping stone in the evolution of moral thought or as an outdated method, it provides a fascinating look at how power dynamics and the need for order can shape our ideas of right and wrong. Subscribe and follow for more on the 7 levels of moral development. Level 2. Marketplace exchange.